Hello everybody and welcome to the Grand Prix review for the 2022 United States Grand Prix. We're around about 23 hours since the start of the Grand Prix, so around about 22 since it ended as well, and there's been a numerous amount of controversy and more things from protests as well, post-race stewards' decisions that we wasn't finished until 3 a.m. our time, and even in the build-up to this programme half an hour ago, we were given information about another protest. So it's been an absolutely ride and a half as well for round 19 of the Aramco United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas. But one thing we do know is the top three, as you can see below me, Max Verstappen took victory as well, with Lewis Hamilton in second place and Charles Leclerc rounding out into third position as well. We'll start off, as always, with a run throughout the field and the major points that happened throughout the race as well. We'll start off lap 1, turn 1, at lights out. Carlos Sainz on pole position, Max Verstappen alongside him, behind him Hamilton and Russell. It was Verstappen who got the better getaway up the hill towards turn 1. Sainz on the outside had to cut back on the inside line as well. Hamilton went right round the outside, but I mistakenly, and I will apologise for that, called it was Hamilton who hit Sainz. It wasn't, it was George Russell who hit Sainz on the inside line at turn 1. The two Mercedes sort of merging together, couldn't see who was who, but that's exactly what happened as well. So Russell hit Sainz and Russell got a 5-second time penalty added on to his first pit stop as well. Moving further on then as well, at later stages of the Grand Prix as well, the safety car came out at turn 19. Valtteri Bottas being the first, well, after Carlos Sainz retiring as well with a puncture and broken rear suspension as well, it was Valtteri Bottas who became the next retirement on lap 19, causing the safety car as well, because the car literally at turn 19 just sort of drifted round, slipped off in towards the gravel at the exit in a dangerous position. The safety car had to be thrown as well for the protection of everybody, and the introduction is the first time we've seen it actually as well, a new FIA system where it lets us know exactly who's on track at what point as well, and where the marshals are and the recovery tracks. So great to see that in operation as well. The safety car came in on lap 23, and then we had another safety car almost immediately, because down the back straight on the run down from turn 11 to turn 12, Fernando Alonso pulled to the inside of Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll just drifted into the path of him, I would say deliberately, but he went to shut the door. They came together. Fernando Alonso getting launched up in the air, luckily slamming back down before he hit the barrier, so he just grazed across the side of it. He managed to get back to the pit lane, got on the new tyres and finished in 7th position after being passed by Lando Norris. But a great job for Fernando. You might notice, however, he is officially classified down in 15th position. We'll get on to that in a moment as well. Lance Stroll, however, bounced back across the track into the path of other cars. Thankfully, nobody hit him, but we did have a problem where everybody said it was Lance Stroll's fault for that accident. I wanted personally a race ban, because you cannot push someone into a wall effectively as well. He's been given a 3-place grid penalty for the next event. Light sentence, you can say that again going forward. But now let's go on to the race results as well, because after that the race ran smoothly. Lewis Hamilton took the lead after Max Verstappen had a poor pit stop as well. Hamilton was leading until the last 7 laps when Verstappen finally overtook him as well and got the race victory. So the race winners, Max Verstappen took the victory on the weekend of Dietrich Mateschitz, the Red Bull owner's death. He's taken victory for Red Bull and secured them the Constructors' Championship for the first time since 2013 as well. Second was Lewis Hamilton, podium 189 of his Formula 1 career. Charles Leclerc finished in 3rd position as well. A good fight back from him after starting 12th on the grid as well. Sergio Perez was 4th too after a penalty, starting 9th. George Russell dropped down to 5th but was battling wing damage throughout the race and had that 5-second time penalty added on as well. Further down, Lando Norris fought back up to 6th position after a poor qualifying. He did amazingly well. Really enjoyed watching his race. Sebastian Vettel then finished in 7th position. Sebastian Vettel led 4 laps of this Grand Prix and was on course to win if the tyre strategies went in his favour. The safety car sadly didn't, so he didn't get a victory and dropped back after his second stop. Kevin Magnussen P8, Yuki Tsunoda 9th, and Esteban Ocon rounds out the points paying position as well. Then we get Zhou Guanyu in 11th, and now we get on to the penalties. Alexander Albon as well has been given a 5-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Sorry, I've got a cold. So Alexander Albon, a 5-second time penalty, left the track too often and got a time penalty as a result of that as well. So very bad news for him. Further on as well, you just see below him, Pierre Gasly finished in 13th position. He too had a penalty. Car 10 was given a 10-second time penalty for not serving safety car infringement penalty correctly. Now, he dropped more than 10 car lengths back on lap 25 behind the safety car, came into the pit lane to serve his stop go penalty, didn't serve it correctly, and then got given a further time penalty. So not a great weekend for Pierre Gasly. They were after him no matter what, it seemed, this weekend, especially after Japan. He's not had a great couple of weeks. Mick Schumacher also having a penalty in 14th position. Car 47 given a 5-second time penalty, he too, for exceeding track limits. It's because they both got 5-second penalties, him and Alexander Albon. Fernando Alonso. Now, why? Fernando Alonso, after crashing, finishing 7th, however, and doing a fantastic comeback, why was he dropped down into 15th position? Well, this is why as well. 10-second stop-go penalty converted to a 30-second time penalty for a technical infringement. And that technical infringement was when he came into the pit lane, the Alpines released the car and it was slow. It had a problem. So it was releasing the car back into a competitive race in an unsafe position. So he got a penalty for it as well. And there was a lot of protests as well from Haas about the and Red Bull, in fact, as well, about the wing that fell off onto the track, as well as Alonso. Why didn't he get the meatball flag to come in like Magnussen did early on in the year at Silverstone? That has been dismissed, but there is a further protest that we'll get onto in a second as well. Danny Ricciardo finishes in 16th position. Despite not getting any penalties, he still finishes in 16th. That's how much of a bad day he had. And Nicholas Latifi finishes last anyway as well. Car 6, a 5-second time penalty for forcing another driver off the track. 3 drivers were out of this race. Lance Stroll, as I said, why? Crashing with Alonso. Bottas out of the race. Carlos Sainz out of the race too. Now, this is the summons for the Haas technical directive as well, determined as well. So Alpine have been called out really by Haas. Haas have called out Alpine about this Alonso wing mirrors. Why wasn't he brought in for a unsafe release technical flag, i.e. like what we saw with Magnussen Silverstone? So Alpine has protested officially. They also protested Perez as well for having a dangerous that wing element as well in the Grand Prix. They've also protested Russell as well for his involvement, but Russell's case has been dropped. So now we've got this document that came in at 1:02 American time. That's about 6 o'clock. So an hour and 42 minutes ago, this is when this came out. To both Alpine and Haas as well, they've been called. A team representative is required to attend a hearing via video conference on Thursday, 24th of October at 6 p.m. Mexico City time to relation to the matter below. The competitor Haas F1 team, the reason, determine the admissibility or otherwise of the protest lodged at 10:01 hours, so that's p.m. after the race on Sunday by Alpine against Stewart's decision of the 2020 United States Grand Prix to find the protest lodged by Haas as admissible. So document 57, a video link will be sent to all representation. And if we take a look at the FIA documents as well as to what this summons is as well, it is it's accessibility of products as well. So literally, Haas have protested Alonso, car 14, and car 11 of Red Bull for a technical infringement as well. So they've protested them as well. The decision we got for car 11 from Haas's protest as well was that they will have a hearing with the Red Bull team as well, coming through as well, and the decision was that having considered the evidence provided, the stewards determined that the protest is dismissed and the protest fee is forfeited as well. So that is they lost their first case that they took against Haas in terms of Haas took against Red Bull for the wing damage. But in case of Alonso's car and car 14, the radio stewards are deeply concerned that car 14 was not given the black and orange flag, at least a radio call to rectify the situation, despite 2 calls to race control by the Haas F1 team. So during the race, Haas called up the stewards and said, why is Alonso still out there with a broken front wing and a broken wing mirror? Why is he not being called in like we were at Silverstone? So now they are being literally coming in, and that's why, as a result of that, he's been given the penalty, Fernando Alonso, and he's dropped down 30 seconds in the field, but they're still not happy with it. And now Alpine are protesting this decision against Haas because Alonso got a penalty for it. They don't think it's worthy. So there's a lot of controversy going on that will bring you on Thursday in the press conference as well. We'll get all that sorted out. But otherwise than that, everything's wrapped up then here from America quite nicely. We'll see you in a few days' time, though, Thursday, for the drivers' press conference from Mexico City. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.